Hey, I'm back. So if you were here just a few minutes ago and you're like, why is she back talking about email? She just did it. Because I did it again. I accidentally pressed the button and deleted the live stream again. So yes, this is a thing for me. I've done this like 3 times. So I'm reshooting the video and we're going to talk about compelling emails that actually sell. What does a crappy email look like? What does a great email look like? I bought some samples along with me so I can share them with you. And I'm going to go through it and show you what a really good, compelling email looks like and how you can write one too. Okay, so of course we live in this social media world and we have to, and this virtual world, and for the most part, we have to connect with people either, for the first time by phone call, by someone introducing us or us meeting them in person at a networking event, or by email. And most of the times we're sending out emails. So how do you send out an email that really gets someone to take action? Now, I want to be honest with you. My sweet spot is being able to sit across from someone and negotiate with them, right? Because I'm the negotiator. I do sales. I'm that face-to-face person that does high-dollar sales and negotiations. But the question is, how do I get in that position in the first place? How do I get that seat at the table in order to have that negotiation and to make that high-dollar sale? Well, there's a few things that I do. So I'm going to show you some pros and cons. I'm going to use some other people's emails as well. And I'm going to give you 5 tips on writing great emails. Now, I'll be honest. The very first tip you've seen 1,000 times. The other ones are probably going to be new. But the very first tip, it has to be the subject line, right? And there is a website called subjectline.com that actually that actually allows you to put in your subject line, and it'll tell you whether or not that subject line is compelling or not. So that's a fantastic place to start, is just go to subjectline.com and put in your subject line and see if it's compelling. Now, I'm not going to go into the details and the art and the science behind writing a great subject line, but I am going to go into the details and the art and science of writing a great email. So let's start off with a crappy email. So I have a crappy email with me. And I'm not going to call out anyone's company, don't worry, but I do have a crappy email with me, and I'm going to start there with just going through this crappy email and identifying why it's crappy. And here's the thing, a lot of people will hear this email and they'll think, well, that email's not so crappy. That sounds just like the emails that I'm sending out. Okay, how are those emails doing for you? Right, so someone has to tell you, someone had to tell me, so here we go. So here's this email that this person sent me on LinkedIn, and if you're on LinkedIn in any capacity at all, you've probably gotten solicitation emails on LinkedIn. Now, some I've gotten have been absolutely fantastic, and some I've gotten have been absolutely horrible. So this one happens to be one, oh, sorry, one second, guys. This one happens to be one that's absolutely horrible. I want to make sure my phone doesn't come on while I'm shooting. All right, so here's one that I got. It's not good. It says, "Hi, Donna. I'm going to tell you right now, points for spelling my name right." Okay, and then it says, "Thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn." That, I will give you heads up, is the most compelling statement of his entire email. That's it. "Hi, Donna. Thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn. Here's the rest of it, and then I'll dissect. As you can see from my profile, I'm the national sales manager for blah, blah, blah. It's a AV company. We would like to be added to your list of vendors for competitive bids. We are a boutique AV company that prides ourselves on customer service. CAV offers service nationwide. Thanks again. Have a good day." Okay. Seriously. Oh, by the way, at the very, 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 very bottom underneath his name, it says, "We also offer referral fees." Okay, that's the second most compelling thing that he has on here. Let's start from the beginning. So, "Hi, Donna. Thanks for connecting with me on LinkedIn." That's just to make sure that I know how we're connected, and that's fine. Fine statement. Here's the next one. "As you can see from my profile, I am the national sales manager for blah, blah, blah AV company." Okay. First thing that he's making an assumption of is, of course, that I've gone and looked at his profile, which I hadn't. The second thing I know is that his second sentence, which is, we would like to be added to your list of vendors for competitive bids. I'm an international speaker. I travel all over the world speaking. I don't do my own events. There's nothing on my profile that says I do events. There's nothing on my profile that screams, I'm putting on an event this weekend and therefore I need AV. There's nothing on there that says that at all. It's very clear that I travel the world and I'm a speaker. So there are now two things. The first thing is that he assumed that I looked at his profile, but here's the second thing. I know there is no way in hell that he looked at mine, right? So now we have a person who knows that what should happen between two people is that you should look at one person's profile and them at yours. However, he didn't do that. So he didn't do what he's expecting me to do. Then, of course, we would like to be added to your vendors. We already talked about that. We are a boutique company that prides ourselves in customer service. Okay, that's great. We offer services nationwide. Those two sentences could have actually been put in one sentence. We are a boutique company that prides ourselves on, AV services nationwide and fantastic customer service. It could have been put in one sentence. But here's the one thing I want you to really take note of in this email. Number one, his call to action is that he wants me to put him on a bid list, which obviously I don't have. Number two, every sentence after thank you for connecting with me on LinkedIn, which is questionable, every sentence on here is about him. It is not about my pain point. It's not about a problem that I'm having. It's not about a reason that I would even want to connect with him on LinkedIn, or do anything else. In fact, this email kind of made me want to disconnect because the first thing that this person did was, he tried to email me and sell me something. Now, before I go on to an email that's really good, I'm going to show you how he could have turned this email around and made it more interesting for both of us, okay? He could have said, hi, Dawnna. Now, he doesn't have to say thank you for connecting me on LinkedIn. I got this through LinkedIn. He could have said, hi, Dawnna. I see that you're an international speaker. As such, you must work with a lot of AV companies. And as a director, as a national sales manager for blah, blah, blah companies, I have seen a lot of speakers. Now there's a connection. I know that you went and checked out my profile, and now you've connected with me directly, right? And then he could have said something like this. While you may not directly need our AV services, we do pay referrals if one of your events hires us. And as quid pro quo would go, it would be fantastic for us to be able to refer you. Would it be possible for us to have a phone call? That would be an email I would actually respond to, right? But what he did was he never tried to engage me. This email from the very beginning says, put me on your bid list, go away. That's it. And then I told you how you could turn it around. Now let me show you, by the way, what a good email looks like. Here's what so the second way I described it is how he would have connected with me directly. But here's another one that I thought was fantastic. So my friend, Michael Bentley, who's Director of Sales for Deep Blue Communications, he's also a client, sent me an email from this girl. He thought it was so compelling. He goes, you have to share this. This is a fantastic email. He goes, if I can hire her, I will. He really liked the email. Now, here's the funny thing. He does not need her services in this email, but he was still compelled to contact her. Imagine that. He doesn't even need her services, but he's compelled to contact her. That is critical. So here's her email. She says, and by the way, the name of the company that she works for is Cybercoders, and her name is Brittany. And she's talking, and the email is talking about her getting a phone call. So this is truly her call to action, is to get a phone call. So she says, hi, Mike. We have a great network of resources out on the East Coast. First line, by the way, says two things. We have resources in your area. Mike is on the East Coast. He's in New York. So she's already connected. She already knows. You're on the East Coast. We have resources on the East Coast. We have the type of resources you're looking for. On the East Coast, right? We have a great network of sales resources on the East Coast. Exactly where he is. Okay. Here's the next sentence. Fantastic sentence. Here are 3 reasons why we should connect. That sentence is so fantastic because it compels the reader to continue reading, right? The first question that goes in my head is, well, how does she know why I would want to connect with her, right? And then does she really have 3 good reasons? And turns out that she does. Here's her first reason. You secretly wish that someone would just come along and relieve the stress of hiring someone. Well, here I am. That sentence is so good because she has identified that her customers in general have a similar pain point. They wish that someone would just come along and relieve the stress of hiring someone. I guarantee you, she did just not pull that out of her butt. I guarantee you that this woman has heard that statement over and over and over again from her clients. And she said, I bet you I can probably use that in an email. I bet you most of my clients feel that way. And as such, I'm going to use it. And so now she's added it to this email. And the answer to that, number 1, is true. See, that's the thing. If you're going to put 3 reasons, the answer to all of your reasons must be true for the person to call you. Here's number 2. Second reason why we should connect. I promise to laugh at all your jokes. Okay. This is a fantastic statement because now it shows that Brittany is not a machine, that she actually has a personality and she's not afraid to show it. That is a great statement. Notice what she did here. She did the most important thing that most people miss out on their emails. She went from selling her company and their services to selling the phone call, which is what she wants. See, she doesn't actually want him to buy from her today. She wants to build a relationship first. That is brilliant. And if you really pay attention, what she did was she did a little professional development first. So her professional development was, first I'm going to educate my client. We have a great network of sales resources on the East Coast. So first she educated him. That's professional development. Then she did a connection. You secretly wish that someone would come along and just relieve the stress of hiring someone. That's number 2. That was brilliant. Now here's number 3, relationship building. Relationship building. So she's educated. She's done the second part, which is made a little bit of, I understand your pain point. She's made a connection. And here's number 3. Number 2, I promise to laugh at all your jokes. That is a relationship building statement. Right? Why did you marry her? Because she laughs at all my jokes. Why are you dating? Because she laughs at all my jokes. Why are you with him? Well, he thinks it's because I laugh at all his jokes, right? And then, number 3, I'm fun to talk to, right? Now, aren't you a little curious? Is she fun to talk to? Maybe I should call her. She might be fun to talk to. But it's 3 simple sentences. Here's the thing. The first one is true. For sure, it's true. You cannot even find out if the second and third one, if those are true, until you pick up the phone and call her. It is a very compelling email. Her last 2 sentences are her call to action. Let's jump on a call next week and talk about your hiring process, your hiring plans. Let me know what day and time works best for you. Thanks, Brittany. This email as a whole is brilliant. Here's how you know it's brilliant. 2 things. Number 1, the person who she wrote to is so compelled by the email that he is like, I need to call her because one day I might hire her. So that's pretty compelling. Number 2, he wants to call her to see if she'll really laugh at all of his jokes and if she's actually fun to talk to. I know that sounds like so innocuous and crazy, and really, Dawnna, really you're telling me? Here's the thing that's missing in most emails. The one thing that's missing in most emails is your personality. Your email is meant to actually have people connect with you first. So let's talk about just the breakdown. Number 1, your email should not be just about you. There should be one compelling piece of information as to why your customer will want to call you. It is not a whole diatribe in regards to every part of your company. It's one pain point that you're trying to solve. Number 3, don't be afraid to have personality. Oh, also number 4, make sure you have a fantastic subject line. And number 5, sell just the one thing and make sure there's a call to action at the end. It is not about you, it is about them. So make it about them. Make sure that they want to call you. Brittany's email was so brilliant that the client who can't even use her services was still compelled to call. Imagine clients who are compelled to use her services. Not only they want to call her because she has a fantastic email. Now you might be saying, well, Dawnna, that email wouldn't work for me because it's not professional. Guess what? Then you're not going to work with Brittany anyway. She's not going to be your cup of tea because at the end of the day, this is who Brittany is. Most people are so afraid to put their personality in their emails that their emails don't get opened. When people read the first line, they have to want to talk to you. When they read the second line, they have to want to read the third. They have to continue to want to go forward. So only sell that one thing that you're trying to sell in the email. In this case, Brittany is just trying to sell a phone call, and she's talking about the merits of the phone call. So I want you to think about that when you're writing your next email. How can you add some punch in your personality? And how can you add punch and personality to your email? How can you keep it short, sweet, and to the point? And how can you make sure that your customer is compelled to take action on your call to action at the end? That's all I got for you today. My name is Dawnna St. Louis. I hope to see you next time.